So every time that Mormon has a whole group of crazy people, they essentially hide them. They essentially cover up everything. They essentially let them constantly be a sociopath. But then they just attempt to find like ways to keep it all hidden and shit. And so one of the things about all of those sociopaths is that basically they've done so much satanic brainwashing that something like this. This is how you can find them. Something like this will basically have them snapping, not caring about any law in the fucking world, and then a whole group of Mormons sitting around justifying people being sociopaths over something like this. See, they'll start being crazy, like raging, psychotic, crazy people. They'll start torturing somebody into blackmails and shit. They'll start torturing people into suicide over something like this. See, the satanic brainwashing that comes from doing all of their camps and funny bangs and all that shit builds their psyche. That essentially, one of the things I do is I isolate basically stuff, like even Mitt Romney. He'll be sitting there mulling in his stupid little bitch, little stupid little brain, like a little dumb bitch. I want to snap. Same with John Huntsman. And see, little ideas like this, and then push this button. And one of the things about being a wizard is that most of the time the real authentic Satanists will be people that you would not necessarily suspect being like that until a wizard comes along and finds their 4 Mormon air horses. 4 horses of dumb, stupid pedophilia. Look at how they're just a submissive pedo society. And that petty nothingness makes them. And that I learned that shit as a child because, basically there would be people that would be seemingly normal that would have influence over all these people and would sit around calling a little boy who is trying to get people to stop doing that stuff crazy. And then after a while, I started isolating little petty nothingnesses that would cause them to snap. Like they would have this cop that essentially he would like pinch my dick all the time, and then I would kind of snap psychologically. And so then he would bring these people and he would say, because I would be telling other people who would tell like local leaders, and then the cop would bring them in the middle of the night and he would say that I was crazy and shit. And then essentially I was trained to whip out my penis and to put my finger up, and then he would pinch my dick. And so right when he started bringing people that were outsiders, basically, I would just point at him and I would say, that guy hurt me in my butt. And basically, or I'd say pedophile. And then he would snap. And everything that he was saying about me, I would find a concise, petty nothingness that would cause him to snap psychologically. Because he used to torture me for calling him a pedophile. And he would be like a raging psycho at me because he would bring up women and then I would call him a pedophile. And then he would torture me And so he had done that so many times that I knew that I could just point at him and call him a pedophile, and then he would instantly snap and try and re-establish a silencing on me and shit. And then he would bring up these like older guys, and that he would sit around saying that I was a schizo and shit like that, and that I snap psychologically and go crazy and shit. And then I would point at him and call him a pedo, and then he would snap psychologically and start going crazy. Right in front of the people that he was trying to prove that about me with. That is the true power of the wizard. Right? Ha ha! And so that is essentially where that kind of stuff is basically how it's, as a child, it was how I got people to see how these people were being psychopaths at me. And that people, I have somewhat of a photographic memory, and that I would notice other people, and that is where I would make huge fools of them. Because essentially the stuff that they did, I would only do certain stuff based on the insider group. But when outsiders would come, I would make people snap psychologically to show the outsiders how they were all psychos. And so that's kind of my theoretical approach to people that do satanic S&M and Satanist, and that's pretty much what you do. But you gotta figure out what their little stuff is. You gotta figure, this is like where I know that Mormon has like some weird complex in his stupid little pedo banger cult. He has a complex about this stuff. A like deep-seated psychological complex about the reality of his prairie religion having 4 errors and just being a stupid little bitch witch society of bitch subbies. Not man, just dumb little fucking little subbies. That's the shit. But that dude would just want to have people killed and shit. And I'm not afraid of stupid little pedophiles like that, because I love to fuck with their dumb fucking brains.